Thank you all for joining. My name is Natalia, and I'm a regional coordinator at Beetroot Academy in Sweden. Before we start, I would like to go through some technical moments. So if you have any trouble with the audio or video, please rejoin or send us a message in the chat. So we will try to help you. Throughout the webinar, please keep your microphones muted. And as I said, you can keep your video on as long as you don't mind being recorded. It is important for the quality of the sound that your microphones are muted. All questions for the speaker, you can type in the chat. We have a chat here. And once again, welcome. Tonight's session is hosted by Beetroot and Beetroot Academy. Last week, we had a webinar regarding the IT career, but this week, we decided to focus on UI UX design. So if you haven't heard about us, Beetroot is an IT company that specializes in building teams of developers and designers to work for international clients. And Beetroot Academy is a Swedish IT school that helps people to take their career to the next level. Our goal in Sweden is to help Sweden to stay on track for continued growth by providing IT professionals, IT specialists, as well as increase the number of females in the IT. So we teach intensive IT courses, and in our schools we offer both offline and online courses. And currently in Sweden, all our courses are remote, which means that you can join from any city. And right now, until the end of this month, we accept applications for courses that are going to start in the end of November. So these are UI UX design, front-end development, Python programming, and project management in IT. So feel free to contact me after the workshop if you're interested or would like to know more. And thanks again for joining, and thanks for your attention. Tonight's workshop will be guided by Sergey, the UI UX design industry professional, and he also teaches the UI UX design course at Beetroot Academy in Sweden. We were supposed to have the second speaker, Anton, but unfortunately, the last minute he had to cancel due to the emergency. So that's all from my side. And now I'm passing it to Sergey.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. It's nice to see so many of you. Yeah. I'll just quickly introduce myself again. My name is Sergey. I'm a UI UX designer, currently living and working in Gothenburg, Sweden. Working as a designer from 2014. Also have experience teaching in Beetroot Academy before in different courses, and currently also a teacher at the current design course. The goal for today's session is to have some practical webinar, and the general goal is to show overview of UI UX designer workflow. So you can see, like, we will take as an example and we'll work on a mobile application. We'll start from requirements and we'll finish with UI design. So we'll try to go through each step of UI UX designer workflow and to check each step, maybe discuss a bit and practically actually do something. So the idea that you can follow, I will share my screen, you can follow what I do, you can repeat in your Figma files. Or if it's uncomfortable or I'm doing something fast or something like this, you will have this video recorded so you can repeat after. Sounds good so far? Yeah. Yeah, cool. If I did something unclear or quickly and you don't understand like how I did it or something, please write in the chat. I will try to come back to it and repeat. We don't have so much time, so I'll try to do things fast, but still we'll try to cover as much as we can. Good, I guess we can start. I will share my screen.
And I will assist you. So if there are some questions in the chat, I will let you know.
Good, thank you. Do you see my screen? Just a second, I will. Okay, just want to open a chat to see it. Good. So we have requirements for today's tasks. It's a quite simple one, short one. What it says, it should be a mobile app with a list of articles. And as a scope of functionality for this app, should be an overview of all articles and possibility to read each of them. And also should be possible to follow the author of the article. It might not doesn't sound like real requirement. It's quite short. Most of the time you will have more information, of course, but it's something we can work on today. So what we can start from, usually in a scope of UX design part, you do user researching and investigating more information about requirements and user needs, user cases, and user scenarios, creating some kind of information architecture of what you need to work on. We'll cut this part off a bit since it's quite small functionality and mobile apps for list of articles, so we can say that we as ourselves, we can be an end user for this app. So you can rely on your feelings and emphasize to it so you can create it out. How would you use this app? And let's say a simplest user scenario for our app, it's to have you as an end user need to find an article you're interested in and open it, be able to read it, and if you liked it, you can follow after this article, so you can find more articles from here. All right. Sure. Based on that, we can go a bit further and try to create some kind of visual wireframe based on information that we receive from these requirements. So if you follow along with me, I suggest to create a new file in Figma. And you don't probably need this page, but you can create a new page. Let's call it wireframe, and we'll work on this page. So just to start, I will create frames to have like a canvas where we can work on. I will select a frame tool here in toolbar, and since it's a mobile app, let's select some phone frame. I'll probably go with the iPhone 8. so we have something visual to refer to. And to start with, we can start like to think what kind of information can be inside, and based on our requirements, we can describe like, what exactly can be posted here. So I'll go back a bit just to see again. So we need a list of articles. We can start from here. Probably for each article we can have like a cover image. I will use just a rectangle tool to create a shape which can represent a picture for my for my wireframe. So let's say we have a cover picture for article. We probably need some kind of title of this article. So I will create the same. I will use the same rectangle shape just to create some shape that will represent our title for article. Let's go back. So we also need to have it was mentioned that each article will have some like author. So we can create something for this as well. So it can be author name. I will also create like for a name, just a rectangle that will represent a text string of author name. And just to make it more clear and like personal, we can also add avatar of author as a photo. So I will select ellipse tool and create a circle that will just represent a photo of author. Good. I guess it's like a minimum things that we can have just to describe like one article. So we'll have a picture, we will have some title, and this is how we will describe our author. And now I just want to like put it in some visual way and to create some simple wireframe to see how I can use those elements in my form frame to see how it might looks like on a final product. So we'll probably need to place picture as the biggest part. Yeah, well, I can use it full width. Then I will take our like title. Let's put it here. Just make it a bit bigger. And yeah, let's say we have a few rows of title. And then our after, since photo and name of after is kind of like something that you can combine together and have as one group. So I will work with them as a one group. I will select everything and just move it here. So yeah, it can be like our one article item we can have for each article. And now let's just group everything. And what we need to do is to create a list of articles to see like how it can looks like in when we have a few of them. So I will make my frame a bit longer just to see, so we can fit more articles here. Yeah, and to do that, you click on a frame name and just resize it a bit. And let's just create a few of them. Like to create a copy of a group, you select one, you hold Option on your keyboard, and you just drag and drop it. So I'll make it just a bit bigger, like this. Good. So we have a list of articles, which is according to our requirements. I'll go back just to check what else we have. So we have an overview, and it should also be possible like to open one and see what is inside to read articles itself. So I will create a new frame. Let's select frame tool, and use the same frame, iPhone 8. I will just align it a bit. So this frame will represent like what we will have when you actually open an article and what we will have inside. We probably can have partly the same what we have as a cover for article. So I will just copy it to my new frame. You can press Command C and copy it to your new frame, or you can also like select and just holding Option drag it to a new frame. So we can use these things as well. I will just ungroup everything so I can work with the layers separately. Command Shift G. So let's say we have the same picture. We can make it a bit bigger just to make more focus on it. We probably can leave title as it is. I don't know for now like where to put my after yet, so I'll just move it aside for now. But what else do we need for article? It's text itself, so we can add a bit more thin line just to represent some text layer, and I will copy it a few times. And to do that, like how you can do it quickly, you select one shape, holding Option, moving it a bit down. And after that, if you just press Command D, you will copy layers a few times and it will be placed with the same like space between lines. Good. So now we have our frame where we have a bigger article cover, title, and some text inside.
Sergey, we have a question here from Sami.
Yeah.
If I select a device, iPhone, how can later on be compatible with other devices?
Just a second. I don't see chat. It's a bit hard.
Yeah. So will it be possible to make it compatible with other devices if you choose iPhone in the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what you need to, what kind of like the device size you need to work on, and it depends on the project. And like if you have some like more information from requirements that client or manager are asking you to focus on some specific device, like some specific screen size range, then you need to just pick the one from this range, or if it's some specific one you need to use. So in this case, I used iPhone 8 just as an example because it's just some practical thing we trying out just for fun. But when you're working with real products, you need to select the one is required from your client, from your manager, or it can be also based from user experience, like user research you have done. So and what it says like you can find some analytics. It says which device size is mostly used for specific target group, and then based on this information you can decide which screen size to take. So again, like if you select a frame tool here, you'll see some range of different devices that Figma suggests you. You can already select them from here, and those are like most common ones. But again, it depends from requirements for the task. And also, when you create design for one screen, you can easily adjust it to another. So you can have a list of different screen sizes with the same design adapted to it. I hope I answered. Good. Yeah, I'll continue here. So just test a bit what we have now. We have on one screen a list of our articles, and on another like a preview of article or a more detailed view. And the idea here is that you can go to this view by selecting one of this article from this. So we can see a navigation from frame 1 to frame 2, but right now we don't have any like navigation how we can go back to previous page. So we need to add it. And just to describe it somehow, I'll create again a simple shape as a placeholder for, let's say, our back button. I'll change color a bit, just a bit darker. And let's place it here, for example. So we can, from this view, now we have a button which can lead us to a previous one. Also, in requirements we have we need to have a follow button. So if you like this article, you can follow after. We need to add this functionality as well. So I would say we can have a follow button somewhere below. I will just copy this shape as a placeholder for a button. Let's put it here. And now we can use this after group. And since it belongs to a follow button, we can also put it like somewhere nearby just to say that they belongs to each other. Good. So again, we can test it a bit just to see if we covered everything. And again, we have a list of articles. We have some small preview, which you can click and go to a detailed view of the article. We have a bigger picture, title, text of article itself, follow button, and information about after. And we also can go back to a list from this button. So I'll go back to requirements just to check if it's everything that we need to cover. And it's a small functionality, but still we have what we need here. Like for this step, like we have a general layout of what we might have as a design. So we can start working with this, and if we during this will test more our design, find out that we need some more functionality that can be helpful from UX perspective when you it's easy to find when you test your wireframes or prototypes. We can add it later as well. But for now, in this step, we can say that it's we've done a wireframe for our mobile application. And wireframes, of course, can be like in very different types, and it can look very differently. Right now, we have a quite like high level wireframe with just some placeholders which represent our functionality. And if you need to like test this wireframe more properly, if you want to share it with someone, it might be not that obvious for everyone, like what each of the placeholder represents. So you can put some text labels inside, like picture, follow button, and so on. So just to make it more clear what those elements are. And again, you can test it more, see what you can improve, and so on. I would say in our case, we can also add, it's quite common right now to have like a pre-estimated time for article, like how much time you will spend when you read it. So it's quite good to have when you search through the list of articles and you see like, okay, this is quite a short one. I probably want to read it right now. So we can actually edit somewhere. We can edit here. I will just take it as a line of text, and it will represent our estimated time for reading. And as you can see, we don't have it here, so I will just remove it for now, and we'll copy this one again. And use Command D. Good. We can actually try to quickly create a real prototype to see how it works. So I will go to a prototype tab here. And in this mode, we can set up some interactions for our design. So let's say when we click on this group, we go to this frame. So to do this connection, you drag in a line from this dot that will appear when you hover an element, and we will point it to this frame. And this is some settings that we can do for this transition. And we need to do the same for this button. So when we press here, we go back to our list. And let's check how it looks right now. So if we click present button here, we can see a list of our articles. We can see how it looks on a phone frame, so we can test it. You can also use Figma Mirror app for both iOS and Android, so you can actually see what you've done in your real device and test it once, how it looks, how it feels. You can test all the things, like all the sizes and so on. Now when I clicked on one article item, it leads us to this view, and we can see how it looks here, and we can go back. So it looks good so far. Now based on our wireframe, we can actually start working on some UI part. We already have some general layout and placeholders for our elements. So for UI part, we just need to add some more real content there, add styles, and so on. This is what we'll do. I'll start with article frame. Frame is a list of articles, so we can start from here. And as you can see, we have all the elements like the same, so you don't need actually to create each of them separately. We can, they totally same, so we can work only on one and then just copy it. So for that, I will copy this group somewhere aside. And actually, to speed up work a bit, I'm going to use Figma feature which calls components. So when you select a group or some elements, you will have this button, create a component, on the toolbar. And when you click on it, you can see that you created a new frame, and which contains only your elements that are inside. And I just want to show what it's do, how it can help us. For now, I will remove what we have here. And I guess it's actually a good idea to, before do that, just to duplicate what we have, so we can keep our wireframe and to work on the UI separately. So I will go to pages and just duplicate my page. And let's call it UI. Good. And I will move my component to the UI page. So I will remove those groups for now, and I will use this one instead. So when you select a component and hold Option and again like create a copy of it, you actually create like a instance of this component. So it's just a copy that represents this component. And I will again like create just a few of them. I'm using Command D to do it quickly. And now what it gives us, we actually can work only with one element here, and it will affect everything that we have in our design frame. So for example, if we change something, let's delete these placeholders for text and put some actual text inside. So when you delete it, you can see that it at once affects all the copies of the instances of our component. And now when we put a text layer inside, and to do that, I will select the text tool, click inside component and just write some text title. And again, you can see that at once it appears in each of instances. So now we can set up everything here and then just put a real content separately to each of them. So let's adjust a bit our title. Right now it looks a bit too big. So I will select it and make a font size a bit smaller. Let's use 20, for example. And we need to define like how much space will take our title. So I will just drag right side of my text frame to make it longer. And it says that this is where our title will fit in. So for now, we can just keep it as it is. We don't need to adjust everything. What I want to do now is to like swap all my placeholders to with some real content, and then we can adjust it, style it, and work more with this. So we need to put some another text layers here. Let's do it, create a new text. And it will be estimation for article reading. So let's say it's some X minute to read. And we can remove this placeholder for now. And also we have another text layer for author's name. So I will just copy this one and put it here. And let's say author name. Good. And again, as you can see, we have everything updated on instances. So what can we do now? We can put some content inside. We can put some pictures, real titles maybe, and then we'll see what we have and test it a bit and adjust our styles. I will use Beetroot Academy blog website. Natalia, I can find chat. If you can copy this link to a chat so everyone can access it.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. So I will use pictures and text from here. Let's just use some articles from this UI/UX part. I will open each in a new tab just to have them. So what you can do, you can just drag those pictures to your folder on your PC, and then we can use it for Figma. Yeah, I already have them. So if you just again drag them, and then you can put it in your some folder, and then from this folder we can drag and drop those pictures to Figma. So I selected those pictures. And now we need to put, we will need to put each of them like to a separate article item, but for now we will try to put just one here instead in our component. So to do that, you can do it in a different ways. So you need to select your element, and to do it quickly in a component, you hold Command and just click on your element. Then you will select layer inside component, and now you can like go to a fill, to this menu, and then from this drop down select image, and then choose image from your PC, like from some folders. Also, you can do it in a bit different way. If you like inserted your pictures in Figma already, like I did, so I will select this one instead. And if you press Command Option C, and then select your rectangle placeholder for a picture in our component, and then press Command Option V, it at once inserted as an image inside. So this keyboard combination, Command Option C and V, it's when you copying styles and inserting into another element. And it can work for very different things like copying colors, shadows, effects, and so on. And it works for image as well. Good. So now we have some picture here, and like what we can do with instance for now, we can actually put in the same like component structure a different picture inside. Yeah, when I say comma, I mean command. Sorry. So command on your keyboard, or I guess it's Alt if you use Windows PC. I'll just use Mac. Yeah. Yeah, so right now I want to like insert different picture for each of articles. So I will select this picture, again, Command Option C. And now I want to actually select a layer on in instance. So again, you hold Command or Alt on if you use Windows. Then you select picture layer inside your instance, and then you press Command Option V. So now we have, it's still the same like instance of the same components. If you change something here, I just for example, if you change picture, it will still affect this one as well, but you can have like a different content inside. And we can do it for other pictures. So it's here, and yeah, I will remove this one. Just to make it shorter. Good. And we can do the same for titles, for text inside. So we can go again back to our articles and copy title from here. And when we go back to Figma, we select our text layer inside instance and just paste a new text. And again, it's still the same structure of the component, just a different content inside. And I will do it for other articles. Good. So now we have like we use only one component. We have 3 different elements, and it can be like a lot of big amount of them, and you can put a very different content inside. And like to put different content inside, you can also use different plugins to make it quickly, so you don't need actually to copy paste everything. Just as an example, I can show you. Yeah, I can show you on a text layer. So both for pictures and text layers, we can use some plugins that can generate some content for us, so we don't need to find it, like look for it somewhere. We just can't use this plugin instead. And I will select each author name in my instances. And to do that, I will hold Command Shift and click author name text layer inside each instance. So to make a multiple selection. And then I'll go to right mouse menu plugins. You might don't have it, but I will use Content Reel plugin. If you don't have it, you can just see how it works right now. Then you can install it separately and try it. But for now, I just want to show the idea how it works, how it can help you. So we can have like a list of different things we can use. And for example, we need some names here. So I will use full name list. And as you can see, it generates at once some different names and put it in my text layers. And we can actually do the same for our avatars, like for our photos of avatars. So if you select in the same way, like holding Command Shift and click on each placeholder for a photo, then you can find in the same plugin, or you can use a different plugin, says avatars, and you just click on it and it inserts some pictures as, yeah, which can represent your avatars. So it can speed up a lot of your work, what you do, and there are a lot of different plugins for Figma you can use for different purposes. And let's put some minutes to read here. So we can just say it's 5 minutes for this, 15 for this, and maybe 10 minutes for this one. So we can go again for our like presentation mode to see what we have and how it looks right now. You might need to close this one and start a new one again. So now you can see how your designs looks inside. So now, right now it's a bit ugly. We just used, we put content inside just to see how it looks. And now depends, yeah, now based on this, how it looks, we can test it and see what exactly we want to improve, change, and so on. So just to make it a bit nicer, we can work with this. And the good thing now is that you don't need to work with each of them. So you can set up everything in one place and it will be updated everywhere. So for example, we can work a bit with font size for this text. I will just make it a bit smaller. Let's use 14 instead. And yeah, let's use the same here for author's name. Yeah, content plugin name was Content Reel. You can download them like just to go to Figma search engine and put Content Reel or content there, and you will find a lot of like different plugins there. They are free. You will have like install buttons there, so it's quite easy to do. Yeah, so we can adjust a bit those layers and align them. If you hold, when you select some element and you hold Option on your keyboard, and then you hover to another element, you can see this distances, like how many pixels from our elements to other ones. And it can help you to align things in your design and make it more like pixel perfect. So I'll adjust it just a bit. You can use your keyboards to move things around. So if you click once, it will move it in 1 pixel. So if you use your arrows on your keyboard, like top, bottom, right and left, then you can move your elements around. So I'll just move it a bit so it looks a bit better together. And let's do the same here. Don't have too much time like to make it too perfect, so just as we see it for now. And as you can see, we have quite a lot, enough space to have more than one row, and most of our titles take 2 rows. So I will just extend my text layer twice. So you can do it just like this. It's not like really good way to do it. Most perfectly, I would go to check it like numbers of your height, and also you need to check like your line height. So right now we have one line text row is 23 pixels, and if you want to have 2 rows, then you just need to multiply it twice. And you can just put this like a formula right here in Figma and press enter. So now we can fit 2 rows perfectly. Good. We can also adjust our picture a bit if we wish, just to make it, add some paddings here, round corners a bit. We can add some shadow effects, for example, just to see how it works. So I will use some settings here. So you can just check it, or you can try what you wish. It shouldn't be the same. Just some quick examples. And again, like a cool thing here that it adds and change everything for all items. And if you again go back to your prototype preview, you can see how it looks now. And there are still things we need to fix. We can align some space between items. And as you can see here, we have some text alignments we need to fix. Natalia, what do you think? Do we need, it's better like to take some Q&A time, or just to spend more time on fixing?
Yeah, we have some questions in the chat. And one of them was in the beginning from Mugahid. As a free user for Figma, can I only do 3 projects?
Yeah. So you can create like, you can have unlimited number of files in your draft. So in Figma, there is like a separate module called drafts. This is where you can create files and unlimited numbers there. And you also can create like a team. And inside this team, you can create a maximum 3 project for team. For free plan for Figma, but it's again like inside each project you can create a lot of files, so it doesn't limit you that much.
And then another question from Ahmad: are Sketch and Figma similar?
Sketch and Figma similar. They're quite similar, like by functionality and the way they working. I work both in Sketch and Figma. Before I worked more in Sketch actually. There are some differences, but like the main features, like using components and different styles for elements and so on, like how you work with files and UI, GUI for tools itself, they are similar. So it's quite easy to jump from one to another. You might need some time to like practice just to get used to each of them, but it's not that hard to switch.
Mm-mm. And Ahmad also is asking, why do you choose to work with Figma?
In our case, since we use it for a course, it's much easier to use Figma because Sketch is only for Mac OS users, and you can't use it for Windows on Windows, and Figma allows it. And also, Sketch is paid tool, and Figma can be used for free. So it was the reason, actually.
Mm-mm. And Teresa is asking, how did you do the shadows?
Yeah. So I can show on a separate element when you, let's create something outside. So when you select element, then on the sidebar, right sidebar, you have effects. And to start like using some new effects, you just click plus here, and you have drop shadow by default. And to adjust it, you click here, effect settings, and then you can adjust shadow settings. So you can put some axis, Y axis, and blur amount, and so on. You can also like change a color and opacity for this color. And also, like, just to add to this question, you can have a different effects here in the menu, so you can select another like inner shadow, layer blur, background blur. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And we have more questions from Susan. Is UI harder than UX or to master, or it's a personal opinion?
UI harder. It can be like UI UX designer can be one person, so you need to cover both, and it's hard to say like something is harder. It can be like a one person who can handle both, but it actually most commonly to have like a different designers, different persons for each of this role. So UX and UI can be like a different profession. So each of them are quite wide, and you have a lot of things to do and to learn and to know for each of them. So it's hard to say one is easy or one is harder. Just yeah, what you want to do more.
And are there no coding involved with UI and UX? Annie is asking, like to fill in the pictures automatically from the block.
I mean, you can use it with no code knowledge, just to use it is like this, using interface and so on. I would say you don't. I personally don't use like a code for design like in Figma or Sketch, in those tools. If you have some code knowledge, it can help you a lot to understand how what you create can be implemented then. And of course, when you like working more precisely with some designs and you need to prepare it, so then a knowledge like code knowledge can help you a lot. But to work just in Figma or Sketch just to create design, I don't think you need to know code.
And we actually have only 5 minutes left, so I suggest maybe Sergey, you can pick which question you like to answer. Maybe one or two more questions.
Yeah, where is stopped? Just to know.
Latest, like there are like I don't know, maybe 6.
Okay, I will go just from the bottom one and up just to see what we have there. Can we use free templates on the Figma? Free templates. Yeah, I mean, right now they launched a new feature. It calls Figma Community. I can show. It looks like this. So you have like a search engine here and a lot of different stuff inside. So you can just put web, for example, and have a lot of things that other designers uploaded here. So you can find something you like. You can just check how they did it, and a lot of things like this. they prepare them like to use as a template. If, for example, you put like iOS, you can find some libraries of elements that you can use for your design and so on. So you can use them as a template. And of course, there are like just to Google other resources, Figma, so you can download it and use them as a template.
And there's one question: how did you download a plugin from Sandra?
Yeah, so it can be the same, like as I said, in search, and we can put this content reel here. And then you just need to switch to tab here to plugin, and you can see plugin itself, and then you will just click install. Right now it's already installed, so you just click here. And if you use some other one, like let's just play content, you'll have a lot of them. So you can check what it is, like you can go inside to see some previews, how it works, what it does, more information about plugin, and just click install.
Mm-hmm. Good. We have only 2 minutes left. Here, Sami is asking, oh wait, no, it was, yeah, Sami, asking about your background and how you started this, your career in UI UX. So Sami, we actually have recording of our previous workshop or like webinars that we had. And there, Sergey shared his story, his journey. So I suggest to go to our website, to our blog section, and you will find it, or go to our Facebook page and Beetroot Academy Sweden. Then you can find that recording. Yes, and then I also saw that there were so many people saying that they're beginners, and we understand that sometimes it can be very hard to study UI UX on your own. That's why I just wanted to mention that we have a UI UX design course for beginners, and this course has 2 teachers. So one of them is Sergey. Sergey is teaching UI module in this course, and UX is taught by Anton, who couldn't join today. But we also have other webinars and workshops that we had with Anton. So you can go to our page and look for it. So we will also have this webinar recording. I will share with everyone. So if you couldn't follow along, it's fine. You can take a look and take your time, try it after this workshop on your own. Yeah, so if you would like to sign up to the course, you can contact me, and or if you have any questions regarding the course, you can contact through email or call us. You can go to our website, beetrootacademy.se. Yes, so everyone who left their emails in the Google form, you will receive this follow-up email with the link and everything, like all information. So I guess that's it. Sergey, do you have any last words?
Yeah, just to say thank you for joining, and we'll really appreciate if you have any comments, what you like, what you don't like regarding this webinar. Feel free to write us.
Thank you so much, Sergey, and thank you everyone for joining. Thank you. Have a nice evening, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.